What's going on YouTube, and welcome to another video. If you're new to the channel, I welcome you. Be sure to hit that subscribe button followed by the bell notification so you never miss an upload. And if you're watching this video, please hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. I really appreciate it, and it lets me know that you like these types of videos and discussions. So today's discussion, I wanted to talk about an idea and theory regarding the upcoming Scream 5 movie. Now, we've covered several of these. You guys seem to be enjoying them. You know, we've had some great conversations down in the comments. So, as always, leave a comment with your opinion, your ideas, your beliefs, and let's talk about it. But there is so much speculation regarding, the opening kill or, will the OG3 die? The OG3 being Gale, Sydney, and Dewey. Will all of them die, one of them die, specifically Sydney, and we've had topics and discussions on that. We've talked about theories and ideas regarding that. But as far as what I believe would be the most realistic of the OG3 dying, that's what I want to kind of talk about, and that would be Dewey. Now, as far as Sydney goes, yes, my honest opinion, I don't think she will die. If she does, then I think it would be towards the end of the movie, or maybe, one of those things that, like, it's a cliffhanger, like, is she dead, is she not dead type thing. I could see something like that, or maybe even like her faking her death to just kind of get away from all of the ghost face madness. But realistically, I think if they were going to kill off any of, Gale, Sydney, and Dewey, I think Dewey would be the most realistic. I think next in line would be Gale. You could argue Gale would even be more realistic because, Dewey is such a fan favorite. But there's so much talk regarding the opening scene, the opening kill, and, having sort of a homage to the original Scream in like a flashback form or some sort. But the opening kill is still really up for debate. I mean, we talked about, Stu Macher, maybe if he is coming back, that'll be, he will be the one to kind of ramp up the opening kill. I don't want to go too much into that. I'll link that video down below if you want to listen to that discussion and join that conversation. But as far as Dewey goes, I could see him being maybe not necessarily the opening kill, but I think somewhere in the beginning, just because realistically speaking, based on the other films, Sydney tried to, in Scream 4, come out to the real world and, try to, assimilate herself into, modern society again, and it didn't really work out. So I could see realistically her kind of doing, the Scream 3 thing where she just sort of vanishes into the darkness, never to be heard from or seen from again, except for by, Dewey. That's how it was in Scream 3. Dewey was one of the only people that had a contact line to her, other than, like, of course, her father. But I could see possibly Dewey being the catalyst to lure Sydney out of hiding. Because if Sydney's only going to come out of hiding for something major, I think, assuming she is in hiding. And Dewey's death, I think, would be a big enough reason for her to kind of come out of the shadows to come back. So there's talk about her father possibly being the one to die. That's another big one. But I don't know. I feel like Dewey would be, I think it would hit home. There's a lot of talk of, something huge, significant is going to happen. There's talks about, the new writers and the new, visionaries for the Scream franchise. They want to sort of move past the OG3. So I think the only way to really do that is to start, killing them. Get rid of them one at a time. Again, maybe Sid doesn't die, but, she fakes her death or she vanishes or whatever. But I think that at least one, if not all three of them, are going to die. And I think Dewey is the most likely. And there was even a supposed, take it as you may, leaked, you know, idea of a script of what is said, but there are several scripts out there. So it could be a real script, but maybe not the one that they used to actually film with. But apparently someone on set leaked this script where Dewey went to go investigate a strain of murders and stuff, and he ends up dying. That's what draws Sidney out, and that's what, or Gale dying as well. So I think that is a realistic approach to how Scream 5 could present itself. Not just that, but if Dewey was to die right away, you would essentially set the pace for that film. I mean, think about it. If Dewey dies, in the first, let's say 20 minutes, maybe not right away, but in the first 20 minutes of the film, from that point on, nobody's safe. At that point on, now you're not okay, the OG3 are always going to live. The OG3 are going to live. That's how it is in every movie. Every movie we see, Dewey, Gale, and Sid are going to survive. But if they just kill Dewey, well, now you're like, are they really going to kill Sid? Are they going to kill Gale? What's going to happen? And it sort of sets a precedent moving forward. Because I do think there is some reality in the rumors that they want to move on from Sidney, Gale, and Dewey's characters. And I've had discussions about that. I did a whole video on that, my opinions and the information that is on the internet. I culminated that into a video. So you can check that video out because I want to keep this more about Dewey. But yeah, I think it's a realistic idea that, why would they incorporate all this new cast, and have sort of what even the directors have said, sort of like a new Sid type character, unless you're going to remove the focus from the OG3. And I think Dewey dying also is the most realistic in the sense of because of what he does, because he is the sheriff. So he has to go and investigate these murders. He has to put himself in harm's way. Not just that, but he has been to the brink of death in pretty much every movie. In every movie, he's the one that oh, that's it, Dewey's dead, and then he manages to survive and, lead the fight in the next film. And, so I could see that actually happening. And there's even talk about what they originally wanted to do in Scream 3, which was have a cult-like following of the Ghostface killer. And there's even rumors going around that there will be multiple killers, that it won't just be one or two, it will be several. So it is very possible that, even people in Dewey's life or Gale's life could potentially be part of this cult following. I believe it's the TV show The Following is actually what was supposed to be a Scream film. And they ended up changing directors and writers, so they never ended up making that film, and then that original writer ended up creating The Following. But I could see, I could see Dewey being the sort of catalyst for this new film. Just because it makes the most sense. Just because, I don't think they can kill Sidney right away. Again, I did a discussion on that, but I just don't see how you can. If she's going to die, it's going to happen probably at the very end in the big, dramatic, climactic, fight scene. And then there's also the idea, which I'll actually make a full video on if you want. Let me know in the comments of Gale being the catalyst and basically being the one to die. There's a lot of talks and rumors about Deputy Hicks, you know, and if they do the cult following thing, it's very, what if Deputy Hicks is the killer, is one of the killers? I mean, she would be a perfect sort of behind the scenes, you'd never guess it, because Dewey is, you know, works with her directly. She's, you know, a member of the police force. She's a deputy. You know, she was in Scream 4, so you had, you know, sort of this image and idea of her, but she was very obsessive with Dewey and very, you know, sort of standoffish, I guess, towards Gale, for lack of a better word. So it's very possible that she could be in on it and just kind of like, okay, well, if I can't have Dewey, then nobody will. Or maybe, you know, Gale was supposed to go to this spot or whatever, but Dewey shows up first and they kill Dewey instead of Gale or something. But it's just my sort of idea and theory. Let me know if you want one on Hicks. Maybe we can have a discussion on Deputy Hicks and Gale as well. But I think that Dewey is the most likely candidate to be, you know, offed in this film if that happens. But as always, this is a discussion video, so I want to hear from you guys. Leave a comment, let me know your opinion, your take, your ideas, and let's have a civil discussion down below. Also, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, like this video. I appreciate it very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.